It has been almost 2.5 years since Summer Wells went missing from her home in Rogersville, Tennessee. Many people still check for updates in the case every day. However, even after over 4.6 square miles of land searched and over 800 tips called in, there are still no solid leads in the case, and even 2.5 years later, TBI still does not have any new updates. But Ronnie Lawson did tell WJHL that the circumstances leading to her disappearance remain under investigation. What circumstances? That's my question.
So, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance, in my educated opinion, would probably mean
the circumstances surrounding her home life, her parents, her brothers, any other family and friends that she may have been close to, maybe the circumstances surrounding the day she went missing earlier that day, people that were with them that day. So I'm led to believe these are the circumstances that are being investigated. So they are looking at the people the closest to her to figure out what happened to Summer. So we know that on the day Summer went missing, she had spent the day with her mother, her grandmother, and a friend who was 15 years old named Hunter. Let's start there. For starters, the grandmother, Candace Harrer, spoke to WJHL, and she told them that she thinks that Summer went swimming at Warrior's Path. She acted like she was not sure if that's where she went swimming. Well, if she was in fact with Summer and Candace, then wouldn't she know for sure where she went swimming? Then we have Candace and Hunter, who cannot collaborate their stories. They cannot get it straight. And what I mean is about Summer's swimsuit. Candace said she put Summer's swimsuit on at 7:30 that morning before they left from their house because she knew that it was going to be hot outside and she knows how hot Summer gets. Okay? But in an interview with Chris McDonough from the interview room, Hunter says that Candace put Summer's swimsuit on at his house around 10:30 when she picked him up to go with them swimming while they waited on a prescription from Walgreens. So which is it? They both cannot be true. Since we know that Candace has lied a lot throughout this entire case, then most people would lean more towards believing Hunter. But I am going to point out to you that I have observed that Hunter has also contradicted himself. I have caught Hunter telling different versions of different stories. So I'm not sure I can believe him either. So that leaves me not knowing what to think. Now moving on to the phone call at Walgreens. Hunter said that Don called while they were in line at Walgreens. We can assume that to be true since both Don and Candace confirmed that he did call her. However, his reason for calling is different than what Hunter gave us, but that's not what I want to talk about. What I have to bring to your attention here is that Hunter said that he was listening in on their phone call because he wanted to see if there was anything suspicious going on. My question is, at 11 or 11:30 or whatever time it was at Walgreens, and hours before Summer went missing, why would Hunter believe that anything suspicious would be going on? I thought that might have been a slip up, and possibly he could have given away a little information he didn't mean to. Like, I'm assuming possibly he even knows what happened to Summer. Listen to what he tells Chris McDonough about how he feels.
I just know that they have to have done something because she did not walk off of that property. That's all I know. Because it was a short period of time before they dropped me off that she said that she was missing.
Got it. Straight up.
So you heard Hunter tell Chris that it was a short period of time from when they dropped him off that Candace called and said that Summer was missing. And he said that he believes they, as in Don and Candace, or Candace and Grandma, or maybe all three, but he said they had to have done something. So he believes that Don, Candace, and Grandma, or one of the three, done something to Summer. Also, in a video on the channel named Sweet Tea with Don B, he has an audio clip of Allie, who is Hunter's mom. And I can verify that, yes, it is Allie's voice. And Allie says that she believes that Candace killed, unalived, Summer. She says she has felt that way since the very beginning. Allie says that she feels this way because she actually witnessed physical abuse in the past. So I'm not sure if Allie reported that abuse that she allegedly witnessed before Summer went missing or not. I hope she did. But if that's true, and, if Candace was being abusive to her children, then that would definitely be one of the circumstances being investigated. So anyway, moving on. Candace dropped Hunter off at his house at about 2:30 p.m. Hunter, Allie, and Hunter's grandmother, all three say that they believe Summer is asleep and doing fine at this time. So about 30 to 40 minutes down the road is when Candace says that the accidental milk jug video is taken of Summer and that they are within 10 minutes of being home when that video was taken. So that leaves us with them arriving back home at approximately 3:20 p.m. Candace said that when they got home, everyone, including Summer, got out of the truck. They took their groceries in, separated them. They gave Grandma her groceries and then decided to plant the flowers. They actually repotted a few cactus plants, as most of you already know. But Candace says that by the time they are done, which is about an hour from the time they got home, so then it's about 4:20 p.m., right? Candace says they're done planting their cactus at 4:20 p.m. All right, well, this is where we get lost in the timeline. Nothing adds up from this point. Candace claims that right after planting cactus that Summer is ready to go inside, and so she walks her over there, puts her in the house, or she goes in the house, she watches her walk in, whatever. And then she, you know the story. She goes back and she helps her mom. She's only gone for 2 to 10 minutes or whatever. Okay? So that means Summer went inside the house at about 4:25 and then disappears 2 to 5 minutes later. Therefore, we can conclude that Summer went missing at about 4:30. Jody Sue claims to hear the scream at 4:42. Candace does not call Dawn until 5:30, right? Okay, and then Jody Sue says she is searching for Summer at 6:09. Dawn and Candace call 911 at 6:26 and 6:29. Let me make sure you're following my point right here. Okay, so we have gathered that Summer disappeared approximately 4:30 p.m., right? But Candace did not call Dawn until 5:30. So she waited a whole hour before she even notified Dawn that Summer was missing. What was she doing from 4:30 to 5:30? That is what I want to know. I believe Candace lied to Dawn. She called him at 5:30 and she told him that Summer had just went missing at 5:30. And the reason I believe that is because in a video, and I do have the clip, I will have to find it, Dawn says, quote, "It happened at 5:30, end quote. So whatever happened to Summer, Dawn is saying that it happened at 5:30. But I believe it happened at 4:30 because that's the only thing that makes sense. And Candace lied to Dawn, and she didn't tell him that it had already been an hour. Now, maybe Candace took an hour because she was scared to call Dawn. Maybe she didn't know what to say. Maybe her and Grandma were getting a story together of what to say. I don't know. But what I do know is that when you add that timeline up, that is what we come up with. Summer, in my opinion, went missing or whatever happened to her at 4:30 or around 4:30, which also gives credit to Jody Sue hearing that scream at 4:42. It's very possible because, I mean, Summer could have went missing at 4:42. Whatever happened to make that scream, I say from 4:30 to 4:45. That is going to be the window of time when Summer either went missing or passed away, whichever happened. 4:30 to 4:45. Candace and Grandis, in my opinion, got their story straight and then called Dawn. Then we have a whole nother hour, right? Because they didn't call 911 until 6:26. So now I believe that maybe Dawn is helping cover for Candace. So they had to take another hour to figure out what the heck they're going to tell the police. I don't know. But let me reel it back in, because this video really was supposed to be about the circumstances that occurred before Summer went missing. And I got off on a tangent into this timeline stuff. I didn't mean to, but it happened. But I think it is important to explore, and I'm glad I did. But now let's back it up just a little bit. The video is already almost 15 minutes long. If you are still here, I appreciate you. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and like the video. Doing this helps the algorithm push my channel out to new viewers. I just want to take a few more minutes of your time to talk about one more circumstance leading up to Summer's disappearance that I feel like could very possibly be under investigation. Summer had a very close relationship with her Sabbath school teacher, so it is important to note. It was said that Summer looked up to her and other women like her, like women in the professional field, women, that had long hair, were pretty, wore dresses and such, just ladylike people, because Summer wanted to be a princess, and so she just kind of looked up to these type people. Well, I did some research, and as bad as I hate to put it here, I have to. I'm going to show you the research that I come up with, so you'll know. I'm not accusing the teacher of anything at all. I'm just stating the research findings that I have. And from what I have found, it is very common for teachers, Sunday school teachers as well, to groom children for the trafficking, for that thing. Now, the investigator did say that he does not feel like Summer has been trafficked out of the area. He said he is pretty sure she will be found close by. So, in other words, he is telling us that he believes Summer is deceased, unfortunately. But just to cover all of the circumstances, let me go over the research with you. So, I went on Google and I looked up the term, who is most likely to groom a child? Meaning, if this child was being groomed to be put into trafficking, who would be the person that would groom her, right? And this is what come up, and it reads, this could be a family member, a friend, or someone who has targeted them, like a teacher, faith group leader, or sports coach, okay? And it also says they can be groomed online, but Summer was only 5, so I will think that don't apply to her. But for what I've just read, I have gathered she could have been groomed by either her parents, or it says, or a teacher or faith group leader, which would be Robin Lane, who could be considered a faith group leader and also a teacher, right? She was her Sabbath school teacher. So, that could be, part of the circumstances TBI are investigating, or the circumstances that Ronnie Lawson mentioned. Somebody knows what happened to Summer, and somebody needs to speak up for Summer Wells.